Welcome to the Healthcare Security Cast, the podcast dedicated to healthcare security, safety, and emergency management. If you are involved with a healthcare security program or desire to be, this podcast is for you. Join the conversation as we discuss the issues that matter to healthcare security professionals while leveraging the expertise of healthcare security thought leaders and experts in personal development. And now, here's your host, Brian Hamilton.
Before we jump into the show, I just want to thank the Healthcare Security Cast sponsors and collaborators. 3D Network Technology, reliability is our core value. Visit www.3dnetworktechnology.com. Genetech, delivering security strategies for healthcare. Visit www.genetech.com. The Change Execution Group and 360 Life Transformations. Visit www.360lifetransformations.com. Canadian Security Magazine. Visit canadiansecuritymag.com. And Omnigo Software. Visit omnigo.com to learn more. And now, let's get into today's show. Welcome to the Healthcare Security Cast for Tuesday, June the 1st. I'm joined today by Anton Doerig. Anton, thanks for joining us today.
That's wonderful. Thank you for having me in your show, in your podcast. It's great to see you, to hear you, and I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, likewise. I always enjoy our conversations. Glad we get to have it on the podcast today. Now, the first question I'm going to ask, the same question I ask everybody in the beginning. Who is Anton Doerig?
Oh, that's something to think about that. Who am I? Who I'm really, I guess I'm just a normal person who works in the safety security environment a long time, 25 years, something like that. And at the moment, I'm a professional, an advisor, keynote speaker, author for leadership management, safety security topics. And that's my thing that I do. And yes, I'm a family. I'm a father. I have a family, 2 sons, 1 wife, and there's a lot of things to do. And it's funny to see how it works or it doesn't work.
Awesome stuff. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about today is your book, Leadership Safe and Secure. And for everybody who's joining us today, there's an opportunity to win a copy of this book. So stay tuned to the rest of the show to learn how to do that. Also, for anybody who doesn't win, Anton's been gracious enough for 2 weeks to give a 15% discount to anybody who's part of the Healthcare Security Cast community. So again, all those details will be later on in the show. Anton, I'm going to start by just asking, what was it that prompted you to do this writing? It's so much information there that you shared with us. What made you feel motivated to just go ahead and share all of that?
Pain. That I guess that's the key word, pain. It's hard to say, but I know you know that as well. You can learn it on the easy way. You can adapt something. You can do it as well, like the other role models around the world or in your environment, and you can do it on the hard way. The hard way is pain. But today, in this time, we have the chance to learn a lot from each others, especially in the safety, security, risk, business continuity, emergency crisis management, whatever. And there's the pain as well if you have something to lose. And we have some people, they are a long time in this environment, in the professional environment, and say like the baby boomers, and they are in the way to the right retirement. And we have a younger generation. They are more flexible. They are maybe the generation Y or millenniums. They are so interested in do something, to reach something, to achieve something, and to be involved with the new mission or the big vision, the big goal. And if you want to create your own career, you have to do it in a clear way. And that's hard today, in a clear way, to know where I will to go, where I will, what's my big picture in the next 10 years, maybe something like that. 10 years in a period from in time with internet, social media, 10 years. It's so far away. But you have to decide where I want to go. It's so important to do the things. And I did some good stuff. I did some bad stuff. I get successful, and I had some really bad things that I have to accept. And all this was in my whole life. Also, this book, or the stories in the books, I guess there's something approximately 30 stories or practical experience, something inside there. There are maybe 280, approx 280 side marks, tips, hints, something like that. And it's not a typical leadership book. It's not a typical, how do you do it with this methodical, this role, and this way, in this process. It's more from my own experience, my life in the healthcare security environment, retail, international industries, companies, public safety, police, military, all the things. It's just like a big overview. And that was my thing, that I have to say something. I want to share that with other people, younger, older, and you can read it and you can laugh about that. It's something really funny stuff inside there. And there are just some serious things inside there. And so that was my really way to say that it's for you. I didn't wrote this book for my own. I did it for others in our environment.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, one thing that I thought of there that we didn't cover when you were kind of introducing yourself. How many languages do you speak?
Oh, that's that's nice to ask. There are Swiss German. That's my native, my mother tongue. Swiss German. Then it's like German. German is a language from Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Then French, and as well English. I try to speak English, and sometimes it's really hard to get all in the right sentence, the right words, and spelling the right words in the right moment. The terrible thing is that if you want to do all 3 or 4 languages on the same time, that's really hard to say. But it's easier if it's more practiced. And so I really enjoy that in your podcast, in your show here, to speak in English and to train, to learn.
No, I have to give you a lot of credit. That's something that's difficult for a lot of people to do. I know one person who speaks about 6 languages, my friend Suzanna. But the one thing I will say, because I know you're a little bit self-conscious about your English, but you speak English better than a lot of people who I know who speak only English. So don't be self-conscious about it at all. Your English is good.
Thank you. That's one thing that, oh yes, I'm on the right path.
Awesome. Now I want to get into your book first of all, and and just kind of look at the first couple of chapters, just to give people an idea of exactly what they're getting. Now the first actual chapter is called Leadership Responsibility. And you talk about a change of perspective, and and I like kind of the first part about that. The way you word it is no mercy on yourself, your leadership, and your management. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, the whole book, just the starter begins with self-leadership, then goes to team leadership, to group, company, enterprise leadership and management, the culture thing, and then as in extremely deeper way to the safety, security, emergency crisis management topics, and then comes back in the circle to your own person with self-leadership. And yeah, no mercy with your dreams, with your excuses, with what you have done and what you want to do and you have already done. So it's really hard to say that it's a little provocative to say, don't be too diplomatic, too polite with your own, and don't be that with your people around you. If you're talking, if you speak, if you write something, do it clear, transparency in a good way, always in a good way. It's no mercy doesn't mean only hard and forced. It means clear in a good way. But you haven't a lot of time. You have just your lifetime. And every day who is gone, it's past. So you don't can go back and do something other. You have just to do it right now. And it's the same thing in leadership and the same thing in personal way or if your team or your company. So that's the most important thing. Start with yourself and then go inside there. And there are some stories. I don't know exactly, we were talking about that. There's some skydiving in San Francisco or some on the road that doesn't work as well if I pass some routes, maybe just an accident. And there are really personal stuff inside there in this book, but it's well in a corporate, in an enterprise environment. So you can learn a lot of different ways and views.
Yeah, and it's interesting because earlier we were talking about Jocko Willink, and one of the books that a lot of the folks in the healthcare security cast community reference is Jocko Willink's book Extreme Ownership. And you kind of talk the way that you phrase that, it's kind of some of the same parallels there, some of the same thought process where you're taking ownership. And the other thing too that you mentioned is, not being easy on yourself. And I think a lot of us, I think probably every one of us at some point in our life, we've gone easier on ourselves than we will others, because we understand how we think, we know what our intentions are. But in my opinion, and you tell me if you feel differently, but I feel like maybe we should be a little bit harder on ourselves and extend that grace to others, because we don't know other people's intentions. And a lot of time we kind of project what we think they mean. So a lot of times we'll assume the worst with others and assume the best with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. You have a few points inside there that are really important for everybody. All this. Let me say that on really on point. All these heroes outside there, the ex-army guys, Green Berets, SEALs, SIS, or other special operation forces. All these people they earn a lot of experience, but they are maybe lost some friends as well. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy way to do that. But that are especially in the security environment, they are it's like role models. They are like idol. Oh, whoa, that's great. I want to be like them or like this guy. But we have to accept everybody has his own story and his own journey. And we have done something as well that keep us moving forward. We have done things that are not really easy. They weren't easy. Just to say that, it's hard in our environment, exactly in this all internet, social media stuff. Everybody's starling, you know that, or everybody is absolutely glorified, and there's in a public person. And you are just a small little guy working in the healthcare environment. Whoa, that's terrible. Nobody knows me. I just know a few people around me in my shift, and I'm going home and go sleep and can come back to work. You are not alone. You have your own story. You have your own journey. And we have, as a leader, our own heroes in our daily business. They doing a hard work every F dot 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 day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that, but we are just looking out there. It's important to see that it's like maybe you are you have some in your childhood, and you're watching TV, and you say, okay, He-Man, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, or Zorro, Cowboys, whatever, and you have your own idol. And then you grow up and you come in this professional environment. Maybe you have an apprenticeship, done an apprenticeship, or you study something, and then you're there, and nobody's waiting for you. And you're working into, maybe you have two jobs. You have two jobs, and you do it, and during the night another job in the day. But it's your own. You have all the power in your own, and that's important to say that. Self leadership. Don't be a leader if you don't accept you have your lead, your first, in a good way. In a hard way, maybe sometimes it's a little easier, but you have to do it for your own. Nobody is there to lead you in a responsibility. You have to do it at first your own. That's the thing that I guess I do have as well in your sentence that you told us before. It's thinking, it's different. Extreme ownership, it sounds good, and it's this special operation atmosphere around them. Hey, the hardest work that you can do as a specialist, a security specialist, is in the healthcare environment. But you have all the things that you have in a big city, in a smaller area, in a campus, in a building. You have all this from birth to death. All what you can handle in your own life, you have that in a healthcare facility.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you hit on a lot of great points there. And, the things that we require as leaders, some of those skills. Now, another thing that you mentioned in your book as well, is that whining is just annoying. And I think this is an important thing from a leadership perspective as well. Like, just doing your best, at least. I know none of us are perfect, but to not whine or complain. So if we could unpack that a little bit, I'd like to get some more of your thoughts on that topic.
Yeah, sure. You have to take your time in whining. Take your time to go home on your sofa and eat some chips, junk food, drink some Cokes. I can say it another way. You're just lying on the bed and just think about that and take your time. But one day maybe, and then it's finished. Nobody is interesting in that. Or you always say, oh, I'm so alone, I'm so misunderstood, I'm so I have so much fear, I don't know exactly what I have to do, I'm so a bad guy, the situation is so bad for me, I have lost all the things, I have lost my family, I've lost my health, I have lost myself. That's going nowhere. Huh? It's going nowhere. And the point is, you can do it in a long period. The effect is the same. Go down, 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 down to the bottom, down to the ground. Before boom, and then come up. And you can do that with just like that in waves, and you are not not able to go down to the ground and then just come up with stronger and be there and do your thing that you have to do. And this part in the chapter in the book is something like I had an accident in my police career. And so I have as well this situation, right? 24 hours headache, 24 hours headache the whole time. and I'm just was focusing on my own problems. And you can do that. And everybody around you will left you. And then you are alone there. You're coming alone from your birth, you're alone, and you went alone. And that's between these two parts, birth and death, you can share with other people, and don't do that too long with all this thinking about how bad is my environment. Do something. And I'm just really think about which kind of words I should use here in this podcast. But we can say it's more on point with all the words in the book. I can say that in this podcast, in time with you, it's really sometimes on point, really hard and directly, and not so in a diplomatic way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, the other thing too, because we're talking about trying to improve here. We don't want to be whiners. We don't want to be complainers. But just again, I'd like to get your perspective on the thought of just developing those leadership skills or expanding your skills. If you could share some of your thoughts on, what are some effective ways to do that, and maybe some of the things that are important to focus on.
Or leadership skills, if you are born for leadership or you're just training leadership, I guess it's both the right thing. You have to born as a leader. It's one thing that I say in German, I say präsentielle Führung. That means presence and essence in leadership and management. And one thing is this in presence, this presence and essence. The core thing. In your own person, you are a leader or you're not. It's nothing between. Because, in my opinion, if you are really thinking about your people and you're motivated, you are own driven, you will going to change something, you are going to influence in a positive way your environment. You create your own life, you create your own personal environment, or in a company or an enterprise, that you are there to create. And if you are a creator, you can reach more if you have people around you. And that means communication. We are talking before this podcast a little bit of communication. Communication is a part. You have to communicate in a transparency way with your supervisor, your chief, with your employees, or with colleagues right and left, with your emergency crisis management team. You have to communicate. And leadership skills you can train it in a military style, command and control. It's not the easiest way to do that in a healthcare environment. I guess you know that. If you are, it's like change your attitude and change your speech and your words and all language in your different branches or different industries, and leadership skills as well. But the hardcore thing is to win the hearts and souls of people, to win them, to get them motivated to the way, to the big goal, to the vision, to the big goal, on your mission. Take them with you. As a leader, you have to be the first who takes responsibility. Self-leadership, team leadership, corporate leadership. It's important to say that, I guess. And training, I guess a good thing would be if you have the chance to train something in the military, army, National Guard, or in a militia system, maybe in other parts or in other countries there as well, or the fire brigades or something civil protection. There are some parts out there that you can train, and you can as well, I guess, just look inside a few months or a few years, that's my way. If I really born for a leader. And then when you are sure, yes, it's important. I love people, to work with them, to create with them, to do something, to change the world, to make a better place. I really love that. Then it's like a big flame that comes up, the light, and you are more and more engaged. And then you can train that with other models or something like that. And you know that I have some method or model in this, how do you say that in a short form? Presence and essence in leadership means clarity, passion, and implementation. And clarity means to be clear about yourself, your vision, and your team or team members. Then passion, recover passion, strengthen passion, and use that. Use it for you, use that for your environment. And the implementation, you have to plan, you need a strategy. You need the patience to do it, and the self-discipline to go it forward and to win people and reach with them your goals, your targets for this year, the goal, the big picture. You can train leadership, you should it. But I'm sure if you are a leader or if you are a supervisor and you didn't do that in the right way the last few months or years, or if you are really clear about yourself and you say, okay, do I really love people? Do I really love things to fix, to discuss all these little problems between my employees, the personal stuff, that they have this problem there, he talking about him, she's talking against her, and all these little things there around you and around them. If you don't really love to lead, let it be. Let it be, please. It's so waste time. And it's so a wrong way to lead people in a management position, and you're not passionate about leadership. So that's what I could say.
Right. No, that's some great points there too, because yeah, you do have to be passionate about the work that you do as a leader, but you also have to be passionate about people. And I guess if it's not there, if you don't have that passion for either one, there is going to be a disconnect.
Yes, absolutely. If I wrote this book and all the stories and tips inside there, and my first thought was, that's for entrepreneurs, managers, top management, middle management, and as well lower management. And then I got a lot of feedback from all these security professionals. Oh, if I had that book before, I didn't made all these mistakes. I had my way as well. I had some tips there. It's a little too, it's not on the time is past. So, but it's interesting to read. The book is for entrepreneurs, managers in a lower, bigger company, in an international company, enterprise environment, as well as all the security, safety professionals or administrations, people there are, or managers or leaders, group leaders, or just they are on the way on this career. So that's the thing that I just accept and realized after that I have written all the things. But it's good to say that, because some people are thinking, okay, I'm not really a leadership person, I'm not really a manager. It's that interesting for me. Yeah, it's interesting for me if you are interested in life, if you are interested in get some tips there, skydiving and what you can do wrong, what's going wrong there. If you are in the sky and you're coming on earth near to the ground, it's not only leadership, it's personal stuff there. There are insights, but it's just like these parachute lines that you have to react in the right way. If you're put there, what's going on the other side? And it's in leadership the same thing. Huh? If you are react or act in a way, you have a reaction on the other end. And in a big company, that's one thing that I really learned in the last time, on the last years. You never know who are against you, officially, unofficially, who has which pain on themselves with a topic that you're going in the management board. You're talking about fire protection. You're talking about access control, security awareness. And you don't realize in the first moment, where are people with a moment of headaches or the stomach there just took all together, and you have some fighters maybe, but not officially. They're just against the topic, and you are so passionate about, I want just do that, and it's good for us, and we have to invest, and we have to do that, and you don't exactly realize what's the problem and where's the problem, and how do you put the seam in earth, and how long it's going on. Just if this small plant comes up, and you can then gain all this, or take carpe diem to get the fruits on the right time. So it's not so easy to say that, but if you ask me which story would be the right thing, the important thing for you, I wouldn't have any answer for you. It's so many inside there, so many small parts in the puzzle. You know, it's short, it's a concentration on all these stories and thing that if you are an author and write text or books or something like that, you read it and you write it, you correct and you do it again, and you going through, and sometimes you are in the process of a book creation, and you read it again, and you don't know exactly what I have read now, and was this before or in this story or there. And you know what? It's so impressive to say. In the last weeks, I took my son, my older son, and he wrote this book. Or they read this book with my wife and me at the kitchen table. And I told him, listen, there are a lot of stories inside. I know you are only 13 years old, and there are a lot of words inside. They're not on the age that you are. But it's important to know what is going on gone the last few years in my personal and business environment. And then he was reading the stories, and my wife was sitting there on the table and listened, and me as well. And I was thinking, what the hell I have written there? Are the sentence out of my mind? That's my stories, my thoughts. That's absolutely what I need now in this moment for my problem that I have actually today.
Yeah.
This was so huge, so hard to realize. There are parts in the book that I can adapt now for my own life. There are some hints, there are some side marks, there are some small words, bigger words, and they are coming out through the mouth from my son because it was raining. And it was just and was just impressed. Just like thinking about, have I read that in the same timeline before for myself, or what's going on here? And that's the thing that I really love about the book. For all these people, and it doesn't matter safety, security, emergency crisis management people. It doesn't matter healthcare or not. It's law enforcement or just in a private sector. It doesn't matter female, male. It doesn't matter younger generation or older people. There are so interesting thoughts inside there, golden nuggets that you can use and that put you on the top to think about you and your moment in your situation that you have already yet done, fixed, create, correct, whatever. And that's the good thing. If you are reading books, I love reading books, sometimes hard copies, because you have something in hands and you can put it there. And it's another sound if you are just go to the next page, or if you have some ebooks as well. That was one thing that I really was surprised the last days. What's inside there and who the F ... words are there. From who? From who? Yeah. But everybody who wants to read the book, it's free to engage, to read that, and to take that. And if you are, it's not the same thing that you are thinking about, that it's okay. It's a part of your life that you share with other people, and other people should take that and use that. It's useful for them. And maybe some chapters are more like self-leadership, it's for everybody, team leadership. If you are a manager in the top management level, you have as well team leadership in a top level. There's a 5, 6, 7 people, and you're thinking about, and you are in the top responsible for a safe and secure environment in your company. It's you as a CEO, as a CSO, maybe if you are in the board of directors or not. It's a CFO, or in a smaller company, have 10 people that are working for you, and you are just an all-rounder and you have to do something, and it's the first thing that you are just in a startup. Oh, Jesus Christ, I have to lead people. I'm a developer, ITler. I'm not, I'm an engineer. I'm not a leader. What I have to do, think about that. Use that. My 2 cents in a long way.
Oh, that's great. And again, I did promise this early on at the top of the show. So anybody who's interested in getting the free copies, and thank you for your generosity. I appreciate my copy, and I'm happy to share this other copy with a member of the Healthcare Security Cast community. All I need you to do, if you are interested in getting a copy of this book, is send me a text at 647-372-2042. You can write in that text, you can simply write Anton, you can simply write leadership, safe and secure, and I'll enter you in the contest, and we'll announce a winner in a couple of weeks. But again, I'll repeat that number. It's 647-372-2042. And as well, if you want to take advantage of the discount, the 15% discount for the Healthcare Security Cast community, again, today's June 1st. You've got a couple of weeks to take advantage of that. I'll link it in the description, but we'll have the landing page in there as well as the code to get that discount. Awesome
yes,
stuff.
That's absolutely. That's great to hear and great to say, because I always say books are for readers and not for authors. So readers are out there and not authors, and just take the chance. It's your life. It's self-leadership. It's a responsibility to be active, to do something. And you have to be open-minded. There are, in the box, or if you are talking about, there are 20 years of experience inside. What's going on leadership? What's the pain on leadership? What's the good things on leadership? and what's really means to be a leader in a safe and secure environment, to create a safe and secure environment in a daily business, in a company, or in your family or family company, or in your free time. If you're just a few friends and you're going out there and you're thinking about, should we do some skydiving? Yes or no? If you're not sure, you can read this chapter over there, this practical experience. I didn't would do that before you are going skydiving, but it's okay because it's life, and it's take your responsibility for your life and for your health. And that's the thing that I guess it's absolutely a pleasure to be here in your show, Brian, because you give others the chance to share information and to discuss. And I know you are really interested in leadership and communication and other things. And that's a wonderful time that we have now. We can share our ideas, our big vision, our ideas in a specific topic or theme or niche with a specific audience, or just in general. And that's good. That's our chances. They're out there. Take them in the past, in the future, and do something right now. That's your responsibility. It doesn't matter which environment, professional, private. It's not the thing to do, to say it's only private, it's only professional environment, because it's your lifetime that you spend in a company. And if you are a leader, or just if you are a simple manager, supervisor, or maybe just a person they are working in the logistics, or in support or service or something like that, take the chance and take the responsibility and do what you do with passion, because it's your lifetime that you spend in a company. And if you haven't the same vision, if you haven't the same big picture, big goals, you waste your time in the wrong place. I know that's really easy to say that, yes, some people, they are, I have to do something. I have to earn money for my, to gain, to do something, because I have to pay my food, my apartment, my car. That's absolutely sure. But that's your situation now. And you want to change. If you want to change your situation, take responsibility, take your responsibility, and do the next step. Do the next step to your own big picture. And I'm absolutely sure, Brian, that it doesn't matter we are talking about this year or last year with all this pandemic stuff. In general, safety, security, or risk, safety, security, business continuity, emergency crisis management topics, they are, in my opinion, business enablers, more and more and more. And they are the most important thing that you have in your company. And you have to accept that and to take that on the right level of management. Because you are waste time and money and power if you're talking the whole time what it's the right thing to do now. Is he able to do that? Is she allowed to do that? Why I have to do that? It's not my job to do that. His job, her job, whatever. All this discussion that you have around in a daily business about this safety security stuff, you lost your time and you lost your processes, your business continuity management, your power, in fact, your resilience. And resilience, that's what's matter in the next years, in the next months. And I'm absolutely sure if you are on the right path, if you're chief security officer or director of safety, security, public safety, whatever you would call them, if you have that nearby you, direct beside you as a CEO or a director of board, you have the chance to fix things before the worst thing will happen. Emergency or leadership in emergency or in a crisis part, it's hard to handle. It's easier to learn and to do that and to adapt things in a daily business and then train that. Use the words, use the processes, use the thinking, the handling, all the stuff. And then you are trained as well for an emergency crisis situation. And so if you want to be prepared, listen to podcast from BRINE the whole time. There are good stuff inside there. And if you are interested to read something about what's going on around the world, what culture things, enterprise, company, safety, security, whatever, what you can doing in the right way, what can you doing maybe in the easier way, you have the chance to read the book. So this is a call to action or something like that.
Yeah, that it is. So one last thing, I want to kind of circle back to your time, your first leadership position. Now, if you could get into a time machine and you had 2 minutes to talk to yourself when you were first starting, what would you say to yourself to prepare you for the next couple decades of leadership?
Okay. Be clear what's the mission. Define the target that you want to reach. And don't be afraid to talk with your inner circle of people if you are afraid of things. It's not the way to show a strong part of you if you aren't. Be clear and be authentical and give you and your team a chance. That's the thing that I would say.
Awesome stuff. Now, as we wrap up here, what is the best way for us to get in touch with you? Where can we find you?
Oh, just go on the internet and take Anton Doerig, ANTONDOERIG. You find some information inside there, or www.anton-doerig.com or ch. And that's the easiest way, or in LinkedIn as well. And I'm really surprised around the world who is interested, who listen to your podcast and who just get connected with me. It's important. We are in a big family. We have the chance around the world to talking about that, to coach each others, to take chances, to take topics and to discuss that, and like mentorship, you told that before. That's the good thing to do. And it's not only business, but you have the chance to reach the next level, go up there with your inner circle of leadership team or with a lower leadership management function. This doesn't matter. I guess you will find me on the big World Wide Web. And that's a thing that's one thing that's the right point in the end. Presence and essence. Be present as a leader. Be present out there, not only physical, not only on-site or off-site, as well online. Be present, and this means a little thing about employability on your own self. You have the chance to as a security professional, safety professional, or maybe in a management function, go out there, learn things from the younger generation or the others, showing there. It's not so far away from you. Do it, learn it, adapt it, change it, whatever. Be creative and do it in your own way. You have to be a unique selling person. Like that. Yo, that's
Perfect.
all.
Perfect.
It was great.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I always, again, like I said, I always appreciate the conversation. So, hey, if you're listening to us and you're interested in connecting with Anton, make sure to do so on LinkedIn. Let him know that you heard about him on the Healthcare Security Cast. And Anton, I just want to thank you for making the time today. Thank you for sharing your information and giving us a copy of the book to share with the audience.
Thank you for having me. I wish you and all your friends around the world and all the people that are listening to your podcast a big, great, successful week and time, and stay healthy and safe.
The Healthcare Security Cast is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music and Audible, and many other platforms as well. Check out our link tree on your computer or mobile device. And this can be found at linktree/BRINE Hamilton. That's linktr.ee/BRINE, BRINE Hamilton. Again, that's linktr.ee/BRINE Hamilton. Or if it's easier, send me a text at 647-372-2042. That's 647-372-2042. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have or share any links you may be looking for. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, take care and stay safe.